welcome to Crisp, the show that connects you to all the need-to-know musicians. My name is Tsepo Taylor, and today I am joined by the Crisp crew, Loyiso the One and Tsepo Chauke. But before we get into our whole interview, we have a Crisp challenge, a brand new challenge here with our musical guest, Nobuhle. Nobuhle, how are you doing?
Hi guys, how are you doing?
We're doing great.
I'm
you guys
good.
doing well?
I'm good.
Awesome. Awesome. So we have a Crisp challenge here. We want to create some sort of leaderboard, some sort of competition, just to, get the blood flowing.
Okay.
A very simple game here. You have 10 cups, you have one table tennis ball, and what you need to do is get the ball into the cup. When you get into the cup, stack it and go again. At the end, you will have 10 cups stacked. Once you are the first person to get the ball into all 10 cups, then you win the game. But now, Nobuhle, the challenge. What you need to do is you need to decide who you're going to compete against. You can choose between the three of us here. Who do you think you can actually beat? Who do you think you have a chance against?
Loyiso.
You have a chance against Loyiso?
Yeah.
Loyiso, she's
I want
putting
the
out.
smoke. Don't know how ready I am for this.
Okay.
Vigorously.
I wanted all the smoke.
So here it is. It's Loyiso against
What
Nobuhle here
starts?
in the very first Crisp challenge. Okay. You guys go together at the same time. It's
So we go
basically a
together?
race. So you just
Oh,
keep shooting.
no.
Just keep shooting.
Okay, keep shooting.
Yes.
Then take
Do I have to be on the chair?
No, you can stand.
Okay,
You
let's
can
go.
stand. You can
Okay,
ask.
cool.
Actually, Tsepo will be Nobuhle's assistant. I'll be Loyiso's assistant. And
Oh, well.
the game starts in 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
let's go.
Go. That's one. Stack it up, Loyiso. Lovely. There's one.
Yo!
2 cups.
Hey, we're
stacked here.
killing.
For both. Oh, there's a third. The game goes on. Loyiso's on his fourth. Oh, Nobuhle losing a ball.
But that's what
Hey,
right?
there's no
When the ball
interaction.
is being fetched,
Bro,
you have to pause.
who made these rules?
Oh, guys.
Loyiso is going fast. 5 and 4. It's actually very, very close here.
Oh,
Just wait.
this is ending in tears for me,
Keep
everybody.
going, Nobuhle. It's not done. You can do it.
Okay.
No, let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some
All
assistance here
together.
from Tsepo.
How guys?
Assistance needed.
Yeah.
Loyiso on his final cup.
Ivan, no look.
But I did well, guys.
High five. So sportsmanship.
I tried.
Yes.
We love it.
Oh,
Very
that was
close,
so
Nobuhle.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got 6 out of 10.
See,
Yeah.
I passed.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
school, I would pass.
Yeah, pass
Thirty.
mom.
You didn't win the game. You have to beat us to complete
You
the
know.
Crisp challenge. But you were very close.
Thank you,
How'd
guys.
you beat Loyiso?
That was fun. See, I'm heating up
Now
now.
the other people know, don't challenge me.
Don't challenge Loyiso.
Really?
Please.
Now you know.
It was only luck. I'll get you next time.
Let's go.
Loving that energy. But yes, guys, let's get into the interview here. We're here with Nobuhle. Tons of views on YouTube on a very fresh video. Tons of streams as well on Spotify for your latest album. So it is very, very. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, guys.
Same.
I'm sweating.
But yes, let's go into your background. Let's go into when you started singing. We heard that you started singing for your grandmother. So can you please just tell us your relationship there and how she influenced your music?
Well, I started singing in primary school. They used to force me to sing in the choir because I didn't know I could sing, but they knew. My teachers knew. So I think from there, I grew up in a very rural community in Nkandla. That's where I was born and raised. My family is from there. So my grandmother was a spiritual person, Sangoma basically. So there's rituals every week. Gyagidwa, traditional dance. And quite where I grew up, there was still traditions being done, things like umhlanga. So singing and dancing and chanting. We would go in the morning to fetch water in the river. I'm from there, guys. I know. So it was just this culture of singing, I think it grew a lot in me until I went to high school. I would also sing in the choirs. Then I think my first solo singing was in grade 10 in a school assembly. I was in Durban by then because we moved to Durban. And I went to the assembly because I said, I didn't want to be in a choir anymore because you know, I wanted the spotlights for myself. And then,
Now look.
you know, I went in there and then I sang for the first time. And then, you know, people received it with so much love. And then I started venting out to the community as well. I used to do a lot of poetry sessions, music sessions. You know, and then when I finished my matric, I was like, you know what, I need to do more of this because I feel like I like it. But I don't know if I'm going to survive because I'm from a rural space. There's nothing like arts and entertainment there. So who are you to want to do music? Everybody thought I'll be a lawyer or a doctor or a teacher. So I went to school. I started in 2017 doing my bachelor's degree at University of KwaZulu-Natal. And then I just finished my honors last year. So, you know, but during that time, obviously, I was doing shows in Durban, live performances. We also had competitions that I was doing. So, you know, up until I ended up in Johannesburg, you know, 2020, and then everything has just been moving ever since. But I think it is coming from my family being the spiritual family, the singing family, the traditional family, and also the influence of my community as well and where I come from. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, guys.
No, you don't get to where you are, the level that you're at right now, without hard work.
Yeah.
I can see it on you. You're a hard worker.
Let's hope so.
You embody it, and
You
you're so,
actually
you're
even mentioned
so
yourself as a
casual about it.
workaholic in an interview, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
I work a lot, and I think it's because when you are standing where I'm standing, it is no longer about you, but it's also about people who are coming before you. It's also about the young girls that are watching you,
Yes.
who are in the same space where I've been, not
Yeah.
knowing what to do, or not knowing, or maybe the circumstances, like the community, not knowing what to do, and they're just looking at you. Oh my gosh, she's really from that place.
Yeah.
That means I can do it. So it becomes more representation. You know, it becomes
It's bigger than you, right?
it's bigger than me. So
Yeah.
you have no choice but to keep on working.
Speaking about something really big, Never has over 1 million views
Yeah.
on YouTube. You and Sun Al completely
Yes.
smashed that record. It is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have such a big record out?
You know, it's like my first million, so it was
Yeah.
insane when I saw it. I'm like, what, guys?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like my career started like just before COVID. You know what I mean? So everything has just been moving so fast.
Yeah.
But I think with that song, I'm so grateful because it was like one of the first recording I've ever done in terms of sound. Usually, I was just singing Afro, jazz music, live performance.
Yeah.
So it was like my first recording of some sorts in studio. It was so crazy. It was not written down. It was just like improvised all the way because I
Really?
did not know how to write by then.
You vibed yourself to 1 million views.
I'm telling you
Freestyle out here.
now that you say it is right. But yeah, I think I'm so excited because it means more is gonna come. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that song because it's such an honest song as well. You know, it's a song that speaks about who I am. You know, it's also just paying homage to where I come from. So yeah, it's never.
Ooh,
Never.
Beautiful story.
Yeah. Do you remember, speaking of, do you remember the first time that you hit a studio? Like literally the first time when you're like, wow, I've never done this before and I'm about to do this.
I think it was 2019 around June. I was in KZN. I just wanted to do something because I felt like I could record. But then it didn't really work out because at the time I had no idea what I wanted to do. You know, when
Yeah.
you go in studio and you don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
And sound is quite a very tricky thing when you're a vocalist because you need something that you can connect to, and when it's easy, that's when you know it's you. But at that time it was so hard, so that's why I had to go and see other sounds that are going on outside. Then I met Sanel musician, then I started working with the other guys as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think 2019, but then to record proper,
Yeah.
2020. guys.
Okay.
Still new, it's
Yeah.
gonna get there.
Yeah. So literally fresh off the block, and
Yeah.
then literally COVID just says, you know what?
Calm down. Calm down.
Relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
But you basically did your Nobuhle album, your debut album during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to know, like, what was the process of that? So we've been chatting about it, like in preparation. You know, it must have been tough. You're not performing, like, so you can't really do releases. So, like, can you just tell us about like that process?
I think for me it was like both things. It was a blessing, but also, oh my gosh, a very difficult one. You know, because I feel like for me, I was so caught up in school before lockdown, and then when lockdown happened, I was like, why what have I been waiting for? I need to do this now because I have the time. So I think when I did the album, it was quite challenging because there was this news going on all over the country. Everybody was so stressed out. It was like the world is ending. There was a lot of energy going around. It was difficult in that sense because you feed off energy, you know, especially when you're an artist. You cannot not say anything.
Yes.
So when I did the album, it was more like, I want to be honest. I want to tell people who I am as an artist. It was very difficult, guys. Go off.
Hectic.
It was hectic, but I think I had the time to learn the things that worked for me and the things that didn't. I had time to really think about who I am in depth, you know, who I am before everything. And I think we had a lot of concepts going on in my label. We created a lot. We did a lot of concepts, performing indoors. We became more creative, actually. I think we did, because we knew that we only had us, you know. People were no longer there at that time, so we only had us. And how do you survive then if you only have you, but then you're an artist, you know? But I think what came out, I'm really grateful, because if the lockdown didn't happen, that album wasn't gonna exist.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's so much that goes on. It's like you're busy, you have to do that, and there's no time to sit down and gather your thoughts. So I had the time to do that. And more, and I did.
So interesting for me how like a time of struggle for like a lot of us ended up inspiring something like that. You spoke about your grandmother inspiring Imvula, like the title itself. And you also spoke about Imvula, kind of the concept of it is bringing hope. And I love that because you were speaking straight to COVID. You were like, no, we're going to make it rain good.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like music is a hope and a light? Can it be used to save people?
I think so. I think if you're an artist, you have to reflect to the times, just like Nina Simone said. Otherwise, what are you doing? Because I think we are given these voices and these thoughts. Not many people can see them, which means they are different. They are meant to do something. And if it's not to bring hope, if it's not to educate, what are they for?
What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think when I named that album, it was more than just a story about my grandmother, but it was like we were in so much darkness at the time, so much confusion. But then we are living in these times now where everything is starting to clear up, you know. That's what I said exactly. It's going to happen, just hang on a little longer.
And it happened. Things
Yep,
are clearing
it
up.
is,
The storm
it is.
nice now.
It is.
You've also spoken about how spirituality is so central to your life. You've spoken about how much you value prayer and you know that kind of reflection. So how does that play into your music, and how do you try to make your music a spiritual experience for the listener?
I think, you know, as writers, even when we feel pain, we're not people who talk. Instead, we take a pen and write. You know what I mean? I think even when we are going through tough times, for me, spirituality is something that has been there in my family. You know what I mean? Something that I've held on to for as long as I lived. And I knew that it had a bigger role in my life and for other people as well. And you see these teachings of spirituality now, they are different. People are not educated about it. You know, they think it's just the narrow idea of being a sangoma or being that and that. I don't think it's like that, you know. But for me, it was like, I know it is with me, it comes with teachings, you know, it comes with messages. Some songs you dream about them. It's like African magic, you know. It's like African magic. But I think when I go in studio, I let those things take control because they are things that I am. They are things that I am, you know, they are part of my life. So most of my songs, I just stand there and I say, let the spirit speak, because maybe I'm too tired to do that for myself. You know, and maybe someone needs to hear what my spirit has to say about their lives. But not directly, but they eventually will receive it.
And that is something that a lot of artists speak about how like you put pen to paper and then just something overtakes. And then it just takes control of the pen.
You just go there like
and so tying into the whole spirituality and how it ties into isintu sakho, you've mentioned about how it's so important for you to take South African culture global. you know, and you've mentioned specifically the beauty of South African culture. Please break that down and elaborate.
You guys know a lot, eh?
We did our research.
What can you say?
You know, I think that we need something new, but something that is close to us.
Yeah.
And I think I'm seeing a lot of people, you know, going, you know, outside. And, you know, it's so exciting to see other artists as well. But for me, I think I look up to a lot of old people in the music industry,
Yes.
like Mama Miriam Makeba, Brenda Fassie. Their role into Africanity and that beauty of being who you are, being African and loving it and embracing it.
Yes.
You know, I think when I say that, I just mean that we can also see that in 2022. It doesn't have to change. We don't all we're not supposed to be the same. You know what I mean? My role into the music industry needs to be different. You know, and I'm planning to take this, what I am, everything across. Because someone is waiting for my story.
You know, that's the most beautiful thing. And another thing, you know the Zabalaza record by Tandi Swamazwai?
Yes. Of course.
The first time I heard your music, I just heard that record. So it was a very special connection. I love your song Wela.
Yes. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a nice.
Let's go.
It's a nice record.
It's
such a nice record. What's it
Wela,
about? Can you just explain?
You know, I spend most of my days in the studio with my producer Nkandla and Mpho. So I think Nkandla has this sound of electronics, you know. He's that guy, he does electronics, he's into like different sounds. He'll do something, you're like, what? And then he plays this beat, I'm like, this is so different from me. What am I going to do? But then my brain says, do something so simple, but yet so meaningful. You know what I mean? Just do something so light. And I think, you know, when I say, balega mtasekaya, ogudlule, agusizi, it is basically saying that just run for your dreams.
Okay.
Because what has happened, it won't change. But phambili, wherever you're going, you are promised something. But you won't get it until you run and go get it.
Until you fetch it.
Basically.
So is it about like falling into your dreams?
Yeah, it's like just letting it go. I remember also living where I was at home, you know, going to study and nobody knows, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, Mom, I want to say, what do you mean? Like, how are you gonna do this?
It's one of the toughest conversations.
But I ran. That's the thing. But I ran for them. I said, I have a feeling that somewhere at the front, it's promising. You know, but where I am, it's not. But it's promising. So sometimes you have to let go. You know, some of the things that you know and you have believed in, you have to leave them behind to find yourself.
You have such a nice energy.
Thank you.
Such a nice energy.
And I want to touch on that. Like, I want to elaborate on that. You speak about being misunderstood by your own family. And you've spoken about being misunderstood by the industry. Is it about like them not knowing what box to put you in?
No, not really. I think for my family, it's like they do not expect it. You know, it's like black parents basically. Let's put it like that. Not just my family. Black parents. It's like we have this. You know, when you see your kid grow up, you want them to be something. You know, something that you have seen happen before. So when you want to be something they've never seen before, it's like you are speaking something that is not making sense. You get what I mean? And then also when you come out to the industry, you're just like this young person in an old person mind. And, just speaking about spirituality. Oh my gosh, that's insane. Who does that? You know? So most of the time you have to hold your ground, you know? Because like if I want to take off my shoes, I will take off my shoes. Doesn't matter where I am. You know what I mean? When they no longer fit what I need to do at that point, I take them off. So I think it's just a whole thing that is happening everywhere that they don't know. But now my family gets it. They're like 100% supportive. They're like, oh, now we see.
They see the 1 million views.
Now we see.
Part of those views.
And people in the industry as well are receiving me with so much love. So it has been very humbling. I've worked with some amazing people I've never even dreamed of working with. So, you know, people, they catch along with you as they go. And besides, I came out in the lockdown, so everybody was just stressed out to see anything happening. So now I think the doors are opening. I'm also finding my space comfortable. I'm good. Where am I, guys? You know, like, we are good. So,
And just speaking of like where you've come and how far you've come. We just like sort of followed where you've been performing lately. Saw that you were in Botswana for like most of the new year.
Yes.
Even in KZN back home.
You guys follow me a lot.
We have to do our research.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
crisp way. But yeah, so
we know people.
Yeah, we just wanted to know like now that you've come this far, now that you're starting to go to performances outside the country and actually start to export that, how does it actually like feel?
Well, for me, I thought I would start here in SA for the longest time before I could cross over. But then, my ancestors said, you know what?
Accelerate.
Let's take it to some fulas on the other side. But I think it was so good. Because language is such a complicated thing. You don't even know how are they going to hear you because they're not Zulu speaking, and I sing Zulu most of the time. But then you get this thing of energy. It's everything.
Yes.
You go there, the energy is amazing. And I did spend my Christmas in Botswana. Yeah, my parents were freaking out, and my New Year's, everyone was freaking out, like, what?
Yeah.
You're not gonna be home, what? And you are in Botswana, you know? Yeah, but I was also there just in a few weeks. I'm also going there on the 2nd of April, doing another show that is happening. We're also gonna be doing something, Red Box Festival going on May 29, which is my label concept. So we're also looking towards those. You guys are gonna know though, I'm gonna update you. But
for
me
sure.
and Botswana, we are. And I also was in KZN the past few weeks, just doing some shows, just doing more and more and more.
You're saying just doing some shows. Wasn't Casper in your vest at that same show?
Oh!
Acting so casual. This is A-listers.
Yeah, so humble, eh?
Bro.
Of course. Of course. What's your dream festival? What's the pinnacle of performance?
Yeah.
For me, I think I want to have a Nobuhle show.
Yeah, just by yourself.
All over provinces.
Yes, the tour.
And all over Botswana.
Yes.
Swaziland, Mozambique, wherever I can get my hands into.
So African tour.
African tour of Nobuhle, just live unplugged orchestra
No Madison
vibes.
Square, no Wembley.
Right.
Wherever the walls take me, where the money is, we're gonna go.
It's all about
But I think I'm slowly just gonna get there. We're just looking at a 3 years something. But for now, I'm basically just trying to get myself out there in the club space, entertainment space, just more and more, So that's what I'm doing for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now the song that you've brought with us today, Inawemvula, we just want to touch real quick on it. It's almost as if it's kind of like the title track, even though it's not the title track. It's literally talking about that same concept, Inawemvula.
Yes.
And I think you say something about the rain bringing hope.
Yeah.
Break that down about like what were you trying to, how can I say, because I don't want you to rehash necessarily the album, but I do want you to discuss what that song in particular communicates for like the whole album experience.
Oh God. That song, it's like when I was in studio, I cried recording that song. I did that song with Sanel. It was like 4 a.m. in the studio. It was one of the most emotional songs I've ever done, and I had came to Johannesburg. Lockdown was kicking in at that time, but I think I that's when I just broke out as an artist. Oh, this is what I stand for.
Yes.
Ever since I didn't know, but I think when I'm saying Kulanje Lanemakhaya, I'm growing up in rural areas with no hope or anything of some sort to lift me up. But then I'm finding myself in these spaces.
Yes.
Then I'm going back to say, I want my ancestors and God to protect me from this journey. But in the meantime, let it rain.
Yes.
I want to see the fruits of my hard work.
Yes.
I want to see people believing in me.
Yes.
I want to believe in myself as well. So that song is a prayer. That's why it's the first track of the album. It's just an introduction. I think it carries the whole body of the album.
Yes.
Basically, that's why I've sang it today, because you guys are special and stuff.
Stop it.
You heard it here first.
But yeah, I think it's really just about just a brief description of who I am. Because there's a part where I'm saying, amathonga kithi angikhanyisela. Mina-ke ngumZulu sisho njalo masithandaze. Our ancestors protect us, guide us, show us the light. That is the prayer for every African child who wants to make it. I think So.
Yes, there's literally no better place to wrap this up than right there. It was such a pleasure having you here, Nobuhle. Guys, please go check out Nobuhle Music. One word, don't confuse it with the other Nobuhles.
Yes.
Nobuhle Music. All over Instagram, also on Twitter, right?
Yes.
Yes, in the Twitter
Nobuhle Music, Instagram, Nobuhle Music, Twitter, Nobuhle Music, Facebook, Nobuhle Music everywhere, guys. Yes.
Yes, and also go check out Mvula on all your streaming platforms. But that's all we have for today. So from the Crisp crew and Nobuhle, this is Crisp.